About speaking of 360, let's talk about the Grammys. So we
Man.
started out with that.
Yeah.
You said the experience, kind of what you said, but like, you flew out there, especially coming straight from not having no power. Now you out and out and about, mixing and mingling, having power everywhere.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Man, it's like the power went out here, as everybody know. Every February is going to be no power month, right?
No power February.
No power February, right? It's fuck out of here February. So we flew out.
On Black History Month too. Like, come on.
I know. Come on.
Yo.
It's a conspiracy, man. It's a conspiracy. Why the power got every February?
That is whack.
It is. So we flew out. We got a room at the W. Then we flew out, and once we got to the hotel to Biltmore, which is where most Grammy people stay at. Big artists, everybody. Like, you can just walk around. You're eating breakfast and some producers over here.
Oh, you know who you talking to.
Everybody's in there, right? Like, we eating breakfast before we leave, and somebody next to us is publicists.
Whole lot of money.
Publicists talking about the artists that they dealing with, and Rolling Stones and Billboard and all that. It's everywhere. So once you touch down, it's electric. It's the Grammys, right? It's going down. You got to be on your A game. You got to look sharp every day. You got to be on it. You got to know what you want. Like, you can't go to the Grammys and be like, I think I kind of want to rap, or I kind of want to sing, and I think you gotta be like, look, I want a label deal. This is what I've done. This is who I am. And you got to get your networking on, right? And if you network enough, your name precedes you, right? Like, people will see you and know who you are. Other people will introduce you, which makes it easier, and all that. Like running around and ran into my boy S1. And S1 produced Power for Kanye West. Mm-hmm. He did a lot of Watch the Throne. He produced for Beyonce. He won a Grammy, because of the Beyonce record. He produced Madonna, all that.
S1 slept on.
Yeah, and while I was working at South by and all that back then, his group Strange Fruit Project that he was in, I was getting them submitted and getting them showcases, and Hip Hop Mech after me, they were doing the same thing. So we kind of chatted about that, like, look where we at now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we stand up here at the Grammys just kicking it. And then you go to the premiere party, which is earlier in the day, on Sunday of the Grammy. That's where they give out like maybe 30 awards, something like that during the day. So you go there, and like Viola Davis, she got a Grammy, so she became an EGOT, right? Like Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. And she won a Grammy during the late night telecast too, but she actually broke that record during the day at this small premiere ceremony where she won a Grammy. And people were really surprised that she showed up. That's Viola Davis, right? Like, she just stood up and went up there, and we was like, damn, this is crazy. And my boys, Freestyle Fellowship, who actually took me on my first big tour in 2004. They got nominated for Best Historical Record for To Whom It May Concern. I think that's what it was called, which came out like 91 or something. So for a hip-hop record to get that classification of Best Historical Album was really dope, and it was really dope to be there and support them, because when I went on tour with them on the ESPN Cali-Com tour in 2004, they really showed me about style. Like, if anybody knew about Project Blowed, Freestyle Fellowship, their whole thing is freestyle with style. Like, they so sharp with them words that they sound like jazz musicians. Like, go Google Freestyle Fellowship, YouTube.
Almost kind of like in a Black Thought way.
Better than Black Thought.
No, I know, but that's like Black Thought's dope.
But they flow like that, like it's liquid. Mm-hmm. And when they picked me up to go on tour, it was really Dale, the Funky Homo Sapien, was the headliner, and there was all these other groups under it. And they saw me performing at Emo's when it was on Red River. I opened up for Dale. And after I opened up, his manager, Buku One, who was my homie at the time, he was like, Dale wants to know if you want to go on this tour, like right after I performed. And I said, yeah.
Of course. Say no.
Of course. So Dale brought me on stage and was like, yo, Austin. I think the Chronicle even wrote about it because it was so big. They were like, yo, Austin, this is, and they're like, T-Dub. He said, I'm about to take him on tour for like a 50-day tour, sponsored by ESPN on the tour bus, the whole shit. So flew out, and then when the tour was going to Louisiana, I told him, I got to do a show in Austin. I got to take this tour bus to my town. I got to come back to the town. So we canceled the Louisiana date and made it an Austin date. So when I got here, I called the hood. I mean, I had the whole hood on the tour bus. I had lowriders, mini trucks, Connie Park. Everybody was on the tour bus. Like, it was amazing. But yeah, they got nominated Best Historical Album. They didn't win, but just the historic moment of a hip hop album going up against Blondie.
No, I know.
Going up against, whoever else was it, Wilco. Wilco won. Going up against all these albums. It's just crazy. Then you're walking around, you're getting food during the Grammys, you're in line with whoever, like Heidi Klum was there.
What's what's your favorite moment, or did you have a crazy moment at the Grammys, or even like an awkward moment with a celebrity, just some random stuff happened?
Not really, man, because you know what I mean, like to take a quote from Morris Day out of Purple Rain, right? I'm the only star in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I don't walk around and be like, oh damn, there's so and so, oh my God, and be shell shocked, right? But it's cool to see these artists and be like, was that Pharrell? Like the last time at the Grammys, at the after party, I think Pharrell was there, Anthony Hamilton was there, I think Justin Timberlake was there. I mean, everybody just kicking it, right? So when you're in that environment, you have to present yourself as you supposed to be there.
Oh, for sure.
I'm supposed to be here, right? So when they talk to me, they know they're gonna talk business. Everybody in there was, in the lobby, in the elevator, everybody talking business talk. It wasn't no, sure it's nice weather outside. It was like,
oh yeah, who's the coolest person?
When you producing, when you blah 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 blah.
Who's the coolest person that you bumped into? That's like the most like
this time. I don't know who was
curious.
Who was the coolest this time, because it was since it was kind of a smaller gathering, right? Where a lot of the bigger acts were going to like the rock brunch or the Clive Davis thing, so most of them weren't even mingling around. They were at like these other separate events. But in years past, it was like to be there when Prince was there, to be
crazy.
Anthony Hamilton, all these artists, and just be like getting your food right next to like Justin Timberlake or somebody, right? Like it was like kind of a buffet thing. But it's just a wild event. Like once you go to the Grammys, you're just like, you come back motivated, right? If you had any motivation before, this kicked it up a notch, because now you smelt the flower, you smelt the rose, and you're like, I want to plant some of those. Where do I get them seeds from, right?
You got plenty out here in Austin.
Yeah, and it's gonna make you get on it. Like a few years back, my homie Pharaoh, who wrote "Blame It on the Alcohol." He was like, I'm in the studio with Usher. I'm in the studio. People will call you like randomly, like, I'm in the studio. What you doing? Come meet me at Sunset Sound. Come meet me at somebody's spot. I would say probably the craziest person that I met was my cousin Day One. He's a real dope super producer in LA. Like he produced for Kendrick Lamar, he produced for SZA, he produced for a lot of my cousins.
So he rocking with Top Dog.
Yeah, like Jamie Foxx is my cousin too. Like so, he when I went to visit his studio, he's real close with Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, my cousin Day One. So he was like, yo, come over here to the studio. So we come to the studio. He's building this new studio. We walk in, and he's introduced me to everybody like, yo, this is my cousin T. This is my cousin T. And there's some guys on the couch playing fucking video game, PS, whatever they was playing, right? And he's like, yo, that's Rick. I was like, what's up? He's like, that's so-and-so, boom, boom, boom. So he's sitting back there talking, and the Rick guy comes in, and he's talking to Day One. He was like, yo, man, I'm about to head out. Let me know what else you need done to this, because he was helping him build the studio. And we're sitting there, and I'm like, was that Freeway Ricky, Freeway Ricky? Like the real one.
No, yeah.
The real one.
No,
And my cousin was like, yeah. And I was like, damn, I'm on somebody's FBI tape now.
That is crazy. That's somebody you don't expect. You won't expect for Rick Ross.
Because he was sitting in the dark when we walked in playing video games. And I shook his hand, right? Like, what's up? He's like, hey, what's up? What's going down? And then he came back into a more lit area, and I was like, is that who I think? My cousin was like, yeah, that's him. And I was like, damn, that was like the biggest dope dealer of the 80s, moving like $1 million plus a day, like
just chilling.
Just
playing
crazy story.
2K.
Playing 2K.
Whatever.
Playing, Punch Out or something. Who know what he was.
Thanks for watching. We just hit that 11K, so we're on our way to 12. So make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.